everyone, Rebecca here, aka Scrap Paper UK. Today I'm taking part in the Mix It Up Monday YouTube hop. The theme for this hop is to follow along with the sketch that you saw at the beginning of the video, and you will also have seen my final layout at the beginning of the video as well. And that sketch was chosen by the hop organisers, with the idea being to follow the sketch but to mix it up with mixed media, or to just put your own spin on it in whatever way suits you. So for this layout I will be using the January HipKit subscription. This is the HipKit exclusive Kaleidoscope collection, which is full of beautifully bright papers, and I felt like it was perfect for these photos of my little boy playing with an activity set at home. Now at this point my camera started to record in slow-mo, and I didn't realise, but all I've done is cut a circular aperture out of some scrap paper, and I use that to act as a mask whilst stamping. I've stamped the word boy repeatedly. That is an L Studio stamp, and I'm using Salvage Patina Distress Oxide. Add a little bit of water just to reactivate that ink and just get it looking nice and distressed. That stamped background will then act as the circle aspect of the sketch. So at this point I decided that I wanted to rotate the sketch, and instead of having a panel of pattern paper that was vertical, I decided to rotate it and have that panel of pattern paper going horizontally across the page instead. That original sketch also has some scalloped edges and some sort of decorative edges to the pattern paper panel, and I've decided to represent that just by using different types of pattern paper and by having some torn edges and ruffling those up. Now I'm deciding where I want everything to go. I'm looking at my photos against my background, and I decided I wanted a darker colour behind those photographs. I felt like it was going to help them to pop more on the page, so I start adding some mixed media behind where those photographs are going to sit. Initially I add some cracked pistachio. I felt like that wasn't quite dark enough, so eventually I go in with some of the sapphire distress oxide cube. And I'm kind of getting nervous at this point because I feel like I've made a mess of it. But yeah, once it's dry, I actually do quite I like how that looks. I've also added a little bit of stenciling with Evergreen Bough. That is a Bramble Fox stencil. And I've added just a little bit of stamping that's not very visible in the finished layout, but I felt like it added a bit of texture when you look at it up close. Yeah, probably could have skipped that step really. I've also added a little bit of black stamping, just a sort of bubble pattern that's just from Amazon, and I decided to add some Nouveau drops as well, both as drops and also spread across the page as a medium in the background. So I'm still just trying to get lots of texture in my pattern paper panel, and I've decided to use my favourite notebook edge punch just to add another little bit of texture on that edge. So now that I've gotten brave and glued my panel of pattern paper in place, I felt like I wanted some more pops of bright colour, and just, yeah, some more texture. So I've added a little bit of that pink pom-pom trim, and then I'll start embellishing in my clusters. There's clusters around the photograph in the sketch, so try to stick to that, but they are in slightly different place obviously because I've rotated the sketch, and I've also slightly moved my title in my final take on the sketch as well. So a little bit of background about these photographs. I don't know if you can tell, but up close you can. My little boy has chickenpox in these photos, and he's covered in calamine lotion, and he had been in an absolute stinker of a mood all week, and I was just very busy trying to keep him entertained because he was very uncomfortable. So when I got this little volcano set out, he was just absolutely delighted with it. It really distracted himself from himself for about an hour, and he just kept shouting the words eruption. So that had to be my title. I kind of wanted it to feel playful because it's a child page, so I've kind of had my title sort of slightly wonky and sort of tumbling down the page, a little bit like a volcano, you know, like lava would tumble out of a volcano. So that was kind of the thought behind that, and all the sort of good vibes and happy. It just was it was an hour of the week where he was happy and distracted, so it's kind of tongue-in-cheek really. So as I mentioned, there are clusters either side of the photograph in the sketch, so I'm just going to build those clusters up now with various pieces from that kaleidoscope collection. I've also added in a few Bramble Fox perspective stars as well. Now I got to this point and I felt like the top and bottom of my layout looked bare, and I felt like I needed some colour there as well. Now that's obviously not in the sketch, but I just added a couple of little panels at the top and bottom just to finish the page off, and I've added my journaling off screen, but it's just about the story of my little boy with his chicken pox. So here's the close-ups. Thanks so much for joining me. Please do subscribe if you haven't already. I really do appreciate all the support that I get on my channel, and thanks so much for watching my video. I'll see you again soon. Bye.